So we're going to create the backend for our new project. We're going to create a blog using Appwrite as the backend. So this is going to be Appwrite blog, and we're going to actually call it the same thing, Appwrite blog. Oh, I see. Okay, so actually we're just gonna leave it blank. And the closest to me is Frankfurt. And there we go. Our project has been created. We're gonna go for web. And again, Appwrite blog CMS. It's localhost, and it'll be a Netlify app. Actually, for now, we'll just do localhost. So this is what we need to do. We need to install Appwrite and then import the client, or we could do it this way. So let's do that now. Okay, so I've just opened Visual Studio Code. I've got a Appwrite blog folder, and I'm just creating my Astro project, npm create Astro at latest in this folder, and it's just spinning that up for me, and then we will continue to install Appwrite. So I will copy this in preparation. Okay, so that's all ready for me. So now I'm going to say, install Appwrite. Awesome. And we're going to copy this. I'm going to create a library folder under the source. We're going to go lib. And this is going to be all our Appwrite.ts. And we're going to say that. And we've got pages. Yeah, that's right. That's better. We need components. And we've got the pages. We need we need layouts as well. Okay, so that's everything there. So click next. So we'll copy that, and this is my project. My project information, and next. That's everything, and now we've connected Appwrite to our Astro project. So now we need to create a database. So we create database, and we will call the database posts. And the ID will also be posts. And then we can create a collection, articles. And we'll keep the collection name the same, articles. And then we'll create attributes. So we want to have a title. So if we go back to our console here, we want to say inside our posts, we want to add more attributes. So let's add, a boolean, an integer of likes. Minimum is 0, maximum is 999, default value of 0. And we'll do the same for views. So again, it's an integer, say views. 999. It is there. We're not going to require it. Then we're going to add, what did we say? Tags and language. Okay, so a string of a language. At the top here, we're going to import databases from yep, Appwrite, that's fine. Don't need that. We also want to import blog.db and database DB. So let's do that. And collection ID. And add const data. Yeah. Const blog data. ID unique, so we need the ID from Appwrite. So we need to import that. And we're going to say data any. Okay, so that's that. So it's going to take in data and it's going to do that. I think I need to put out a weight here. And we will make sure it goes to the right location. Okay, so this file, when I say add, it will get the add snippet and it will add that to our database here. So now we can say this. And we can make a form action /API /add, and it's going to have an input type of text, snippet, author, language, tags, likes, views, created, submit. Okay, so this is actually going to be a text area, and the method has to be post. Okay, so that's all good. And now under pages, we want to add a folder called API add.ts. And if we open, oops. So before we continue, what we're going to do, we're going to add Starwind UI to our project. So first off, we'll take this and add that to our TS config. And then we can install Starwind UI, and we're using source components as our Oops. And we're going to take zinc and npm. Say yes, and it's going to install everything for us. And in our index file, all we're going to want to do is import Starwind.css. Once it's ready, it will do that. Oh, while it's there, we're going to say Astro Appwrite blog snippet CMS. Okay, and that way we can actually. Okay, so I've imported button, label, and text area, and now we can make the form look a little bit prettier. Class w-full, max width md, and we will say input here, type text, and placeholder is snippet title, and it'll be text area, and this will be the input. This is text area, and this will be the button. Oh. Make sure that that's the same. And this is like Python or JavaScript, etc. So then we want a div with a class of mb-4, and then we want a label, and there we go. This is kind of what we want, so that's that. And another div with a class of mb-4, and that is for the snippet. Code snippet, we could call it. And you get the idea. So I'll come div with a class of mx-auto, and we'll put a h1, and we'll say Astro Appwrite snippet CMS. Okay. And okay, so that's that. So it's looking a little better. And we're going to say item center. Excellent. So we've got the snippet title. With the language, we could actually maybe use the select and have this. I'll copy this select trigger here and add that instead of the input. So we have this here, and we're going to say label is language. Say Astro, we say Python. We can say just usual JavaScript. We say HTML. And we can say so make sure that that corresponds to HTML. We can say something like React. Okay, and we obviously need to import select, so we'll make sure we do that. So we add select, install select to our project. from Starwind. And then we will take the snippet that we have here and import it up here. Alright, so that's everything. So we've got the select trigger, placeholder, and we want to make sure that the select has a name of a language. Okay, so if we take a look now, okay, it's there twice for some reason. We've got the select group. Oh, here it is twice there. Okay, select. So we've got all the languages we want here and the values. Then we have the tag, so we can say, oh, there's one more thing we want to add. We want to have a div with a class of mp-4, and we'll say input checkbox, and this one is public. We don't need an ID, and it's by default it's off, and we need a label, and we say is just public. All right. We don't need the class there, but let's just see what it looks like. For some reason something's happened here. Just copy this and add that there, and just say public, and we say public. All right, so there we go. So we have the snippet title, everything, and let's now see if this works. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm going to add a bit of padding here, and I'm going to add a gap 4. Okay, so we have basic text Excel. So I've changed my home page to we're not going to have a max width. We're going to have, okay, there we go. So this is the snippet library, and these are coming from my Appwrite backend. So if we look at the Appwrite backend database, I've got posts, snippets, and I've got 2 here which correspond. If we look at the data title, we change it to hello world. The snippet itself will be hello world. And we're going to update. We'll keep that, and we'll say public is true. Astro, and change this to HTML. Okay, so we update all of that. So now if we look here and refresh, it's called Hello World. Now I haven't made the page to view the snippet yet, but we're gonna just flesh out this uploaded by or created, yeah, created by this person, which is me. We see that we have a bit of a padding issue. Let's see what that does. Okay, yeah, all right. So what we'll do, leave it as it was. We can actually get rid of the content here and change this to say H3. And then we want to have a span. We have the snippet author. Okay. So we say by snippet author. Snippet.title. Make sure that that is created there. Remove this padding just to see what it looks like. Okay, remove the text center. We don't need the text center. Alright. Okay, we do need the padding on the card. Class equals padding 4. There we go. And the by needs to be class of text sm. Yeah. And we could actually import a badge from Starwind. So let's do that. And we could add it here to show the author. So we import the badge. We'll import it at the top here, and we can say badge instead of the span. So now, if we take a look, we have that, and we can remove the by, and that looks a little bit cleaner. Excellent. Now the button itself, we're going to remove the class. Oh, actually, no, the class was good. Leave it as it was. And we also say width 4. Yep. We'll remove this and we'll put the class on the title instead. There we go. So that's looking good. Obviously you can change the colors here. If we take a preview and maybe we want it to be more like info. So we'll say variant info and see what that does with the badge class here. Should change it to blue. Take a look. There we go. So now if we click on add snippet, it takes us to the page that we were working on before. And if we say header, and it's going to be a div with a class of MX auto items center max width 2XL. Oops. And /div. And we can put here header dash that, header content. We could put h1, say header h1. Okay, so say header with tailwind class. And we can say class equals font dash extra bold, text dash. Okay, and snippet author I'm going to put myself, and it's Astro really, because yeah, we're going to change this so that the language is only Astro. So we're going to say beginner, I'm going to say header, I'm going to say UI, I'm going to say component, and we're going to submit. So if we look into our snippets folder here, that was today, data, header with tailwind class, and there it is. So let's see if we can actually view the snippet. So to create that, what we're going to do, make a new page, folder called snippet, and then another folder called, a file called id.astro. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to actually copy this here, and we will say const snippet equals astro.params.id get snippet ID, and we're going to import Appwrite from our we're going to create a function, and we're going to call it get snippet. Yeah, and it's going to take in the ID, which is this snippet here. Okay, so in our Appwrite function, we've got to add, we're going to create a document. To get all the snippets, we're going to list the documents. So then we're going to do another one called export get snippet, and it's going to take in an ID, and we're going to await get the document from the database collection called ID. So that's what that's going to do, and that's going to help us here. We're just going to use Copilot to quick fix that, and that will just make sure that we're getting something back. Let's call it const snippet ID. That way we can actually say const snippet and we'll make sure we import the card. What do we want? The card title, card header, card footer, card description. All right. So the card header, description, the title. So there we go. Card description. We're just going to say language, that's fine. And then we're going to say card content. And that's going to actually contain the snippet. I'm going to import the badge as well. Button, and we're going to import badge. I'm going to remove that. We don't need any of that. We do need that. Okay. So we might put that in a try catch. Oh no, actually that's the, it's already in the try catch. Error retrieving snippet. Okay. So let's see what this turns up. If we look at view snippet. Oh, actually, let's just make sure that it's going to the right location. So if we go to our index page, you see it's going to /snippets/ID. So we'll rename that to snippets. Okay. And let's see what we get. So we get an undefined. And why is that so? We are, let's take a look. Okay, let's close all of that. Let's try again. Okay, so the message we're getting here is document not found. And we want to know why. So if we go to the ID, console.log snippet ID, let's see what we get. If we do the index, we're getting the snippet ID. Okay, let's see what we get there. View snippet. So we're not getting the ID. If we look here at the button, it's taking us to undefined. Yeah. So that means that we're not getting the snippet ID. So let's take a look and see what we need to do. Data. We need to get this document ID. So let's do that. Let's go to our Appwrite. When we say get snippets, we actually want to console.log response.documents. There we go. So it's not actually returning. It is returning it. Okay, so it's $ID. So let's see if that makes a difference. Yes, there we go. So if you, yeah, excellent. So we're actually getting back the correct ID. So it has to be $ID in order to get the ID from the database. As for this, let's close all that. Open that again. Oh, it doesn't seem to like the let's just put that here for now so we can stop these errors. And we're getting back everything we want, so let's copy the header from the index page and put it here, and we're just going to call it snippet.title, and we're going to say back to snippets, view, yeah, back to snippets, all snippets. So we view the snippet, and because we are not using, for some reason I forgot, we need to import the layout. And actually use that here. Which we forgot to do. Alright, so that should look a little bit more oh. I actually don't have a layout file, that's probably why. Okay, layout. Astro. Okay. And we're going to make sure that we're going to change this so that it just says slot. There we are. We don't need to import any of that. Just Starwind UI. Okay. And then in the index file, we just want to say layout. There we go. Just cleaning that up a bit. Just to have a nice consistent. Back. So there we are. So we head over tailwind. There we are. Back to snippets. And we're actually going to change the ID. So to say title, we're going to say snippet. Let's see what that does. Snippet by author. Should be at the top here. Snippet. So this should be maybe the header, and then we should have a slot, and we can have the button there. So it'll be a nice consistent component. So we can create a component. called header.astro. And what we'll do, we'll copy this, paste it, take this button and put a slot there. And we will basically change the text, so const title astro.props. We'll change the title here. And in header, in the ID now, we can put import header. Change that to header. Don't need the class. And type it snippet in it, CMS. And we can change that there, and we put /header. So nothing should have changed. We should still have exactly what we need. Yeah, still there. Excellent. So need to make sure we wrap it so that the button is coherent. Excellent. We'll do the same on the index page. So make sure we cut that out. And we say header, and the title is that. That's fine. And leave the button, and we will put that there, and then we will import header. So back to all snippets. This one says add snippets, so that we get that. So now all we have to do in order to change anything, we can say class equals text for Excel, margin top 4. Okay, maybe 3. There we go. And we want the ability now to delete the snippet. Back to all snippets, or update it, etc. So the same thing with the badge here. We could do the same with the Astro, and we could also add the tags too. So what we'll do, we will say delete snippet, and that will be a form with the action. Oops. Equals /API /delete snippet. We'll make sure we have this class ID, class here, the button. Oh, it's already there. Okay. And make sure that this says $ID. And we create a file called delete-snippet.ts. It's similar to the add, except what we will do, we will just take snippet, which is the ID, and we will get rid of all of that. Just refactor in some code. Doing just a quick fail-safe, just making sure we get an ID. And we're going to await delete snippet, and we're going to say ID. No, I'm going to say snippet. Make sure we do that. snippet removed successfully. Error deleting snippet. All right, and now we're going to create this delete snippet in our Appwrite helper library. Export const delete snippet, and it's going to delete the document. And that is all we need to do there. And we need to make sure that in our delete snippets, we're importing that here. A quick fix. I'll be just in case it's returning an empty object, but I think we're okay. Don't know why it's giving me this issue. To be honest, we're checking in the Appwrite itself, so we kind of don't really need this. Just making sure we're good. There we go. So double check, and then it will go right back to the home page once done. Okay. So we can check this out. Let's take a look. Go back to all snippets, review snippet, and we say delete snippet. Error delete and post. Okay. So we want to make sure snippet ID here it is here. So instead of that, we'll just say the value is that. So let's take a look. Okay, so it still says error delete and post. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to remove the console.log so we make sure. Get snippet, which is the ID, that's fine. So let's see what this does now. Back, so we go view snippet and delete snippet. Okay, and now let's look at the console to say what error we're having. User unauthorized. So I'm going to go to our settings in our document here. And we're just, for now, I'm going to say any, and then later we're going to make sure it's just the person who created the post. So now we should say delete snippet. Oops. Go back. So that works. So let's just add a fake snippet. Fake. And we'll call it Python, and we'll say fake snippet, submit. All right. So whatever we say, view snippet, delete snippet. Okay, so it's still having this issue. Error deleted snippet. Okay. Back to all snippets. So I think it's doing it by default. So let's just make sure. If response. It should be if response dot error. If response snippet removed successfully. This is what we want instead. Actually remove that. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if that works now. So we added test, 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 submit, view snippet, delete snippet. Excellent. So we look at all the documents, not there. So it'd be nice if we had like a little something to say. So this is what we have so far. I've got Jumbotron. This is just my test snippet here. And I've got view snippet. And we've got this, we've got the header. We've got the badges. Got description. We've got the actual code. And we've got the tags at the bottom. So actually I want to change that. We've got edit snippet twice here. So let's take a look at that. So we go to snippet, which is the ID. And we have, yeah, here it is. Edit snippet is here twice. And we want to put these tags somewhere else. So I'm going to put it here instead. See what that looks like. I might put it in the header. After the, yeah, I'm going to say success. And we're also going to say let's say danger, just so that we get different colors. It's not danger. If we go to Starwind and we look at badge, let's just take a look at the colors. Oh, what was it? What do we want? Should we do outline? Yeah, let's do outline instead. Outline. And that should make our badges like so. And as you can see, it's very different. So what we'll do is we'll make a break between each of them. Yeah, and that way we should be able to differentiate everything. Yeah, okay. Sorry, that's there. Excellent. So snippet author, we can actually just say So, created created by, and then the person's name. Sorry, it needs to be out here. Okay, so we'll make this into a span. And that way, yeah, okay, created by, and then class will be text. So. And then UI is the category. So then we have another span. We'll just copy this. And, oops. And we will say category. And we will move that into there. Let's see what that looks like. Category is there, yeah. And then we want a span for the, so we will add a pipe. Wow, it's huge. We might not have the pipe. We might just add a for the tags. And we'll say tags. Excellent. So that's nice. So we've got the category, tags, etc. We could make it however you like. At the bottom here, we've got these buttons. We're going to put all of them in a div. Oops. A div, a class of flex. Justify between. And that way, flex row, sorry. We'll say class with full. Okay, there we go. So there's that. Or we should say, there we go. So we've got copy, edit, and the delete one, we want the variant error. And the edit, we want the variant to be primary. Okay. It could be info, it could be whatever you want, and then copy to clipboard. We have this ID of copy button. And you see here we've got the copy button. I'm going to remove that. And what we're doing, we're going to add an event listen to this button. And when we click it, we're going to alert this. It's actually going to say, take the code snippet that's inside and whether it was successful or not. So if we do that, we say copy to clipboard, code copy to clipboard. And if we just go to the bottom here and paste, we have everything that we coded there, everything that was inside the code snippet. So that works. Yeah, that works really well. If we change that to inner text, let's see what we get instead. So code copy to clipboard, which is lovely. And what we'll do, we're going to say, so it's undefined, okay. So it has, oh, sorry, because it's inner text, not intertext. Okay, so code copy to clipboard, say okay. Let's see what we got here. That's what we want. We want exactly that. Awesome. So, so that works. And this alert, we're actually going to change it to be the alert here. Because this one looks nicely styled. So we're going to do this. And to be honest, that is something you could, yeah, we're going to leave that for now. It is something you could do yourself. And we just want to change so that this area is a little bit darker. So the actual code area, which is the content here, we want the BG to be, okay, black, and the padding to be 4. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's looking nice. Yeah, that looks really good. So we can edit the snippet. Change this here to a slash. That works. Okay, say update. We need to check the update. Okay, so that we need to sort out. But if we viewed the snippet anyway, so back to all snippets, we can add a snippet and we say button component, dynamic button. So we say const button text equals astro.props, and we want to be able to change the background color, so we'll say BG color. So then we'll say div button okay. Custom text. So you have div with the background, you have the font bold, you have the text white. You could also change the text color. Text color. Okay, equal text white. So then that way that the color, and we say border -2, and border and we say border color. So then you can say hover the color. You get the idea. Here we are, we have everything created. So if we click submit, there we are, we have our dynamic button and custom text. So everything is there, and we copy to clipboard, say OK. And if we just go to the bottom of our, we'll just open a new file here, new text file, and there it is. Everything is added there. Okay, so then we have our snippet CMS. Obviously we have to check on the update. So if we go to the updates, the delete snippet, the add snippet works, the delete snippet works. So it's just the update snippet we need to check. So we get the ID, the title, snippet category, and description. And we're not getting the tags because we're not going to change the tags. So the issue before was we were not getting, we were getting the snippet back, the description, and we were not getting the category. Okay, so if we make sure, if we view and we edit, make sure that we choose the category, and yep, we say update. Back to all snippets. Let's see if it works here. Okay, so we're going to add the alert, and we're going to get the, we're going to use Starwind UI to style our alerts. So I've added this installation here, and I've inserted that, and at the top of this class I'm inside the snippets ID, and I've got the import alert, all of that there, and at the bottom here I've got this alert, which is basically the same as what's here in the code right here. So I've used success because that's kind of what we wanted to go for. I'm going to have a background of grey 400. Maximum width is hidden by default, and we can remove the margin top, we don't need that. And it has the variant success, so it's going to be green, the ID of alert, and the title is going to be copied, and the alert is going to say the snippet has been copied to your clipboard. Okay, and then I've got a reference, ID reference. When the copy button is clicked, we obviously want to copy what's inside, but we also want to remove the hidden class, which is on there by default. And then we want to set the timeout so that it adds the hidden class after 2 seconds. So if we take a look now, and so I'm in my dynamic button snippet. I said copy to keyboard. There it is, copied, and it's out. So actually I want the background to be white. Let's make sure that that looks up. I think it will look better. Yeah, excellent. And we can actually make it green. 400. Let's see what that looks like. Ah, that's better. Here we go. So we've got it copied to the clipboard. And if we can test that again. I'm just going to have a new text file here and press paste. And there it is. This is, if we save this as a okay, it saves it as markdown. We could save it as a we can close that, don't save it for now. File, new file. Oops. Yeah, new file. And we'll say test.astro. Yeah. We'll paste it in, and there it is. Hover color. Oh, so we need to do that in our buttons. If we edit, we want to make sure we add this comma, and we can update. Oh yeah, always make sure that you check the UI. We might actually remove that. So we copy to clipboard now, and we do it again. So there should be no errors. Excellent. Okay, don't save. We're going to remove this. Yeah, excellent. So there we are. So we've created our snippet library. We've got view snippet. We have the title. We have who it's by, the category, all the different tags. We can edit it. Oops. We can edit. Oh yeah, let me change that now. So the category. When we update the snippet, we don't actually need it. Streamline. What we can update the title, we can update the snippet, and we can update the description. So we make sure in our admin that we remove, we're gonna say text area. If we look at the select, we're going to say category, that's fine. Select value, that's fine. Okay, select content, that's good. Text, you can say hidden, hidden, I can't think. It happens sometimes. What do I want to do? I do hidden. Okay, the tags is hidden. That's not what I want. Ah, disabled. Oh, it happens. Yeah, exactly. So I can't. Yeah, I can't edit it, and I wanted to say with the select. I wonder if that will work. I don't think I can do it here. Not sure if it will work this one. No, okay. So instead of just the select category, what we'll do, we'll just say input value snippet dot category. And we will say disabled. So that should, yep, that should work. Uppercase, let's see if that works. Yeah, excellent. So the only thing you should be able to update is the header, the description, and the actual code snippet itself. Okay, so what we want to do, the code snippet, actually I'm going to put 10 as the, yeah, that's better. Maybe actually 15. Okay. So back to all snippets, view, edit snippet, and we're going to say border, custom UI, UI, text and border. Okay, so update. Oh, it's not taking the last edit snippet. What could we do? You know what we'll do is let's try that, see if that works. Find the name description. Let's try this. Still doesn't like it. Okay. What we will do, we will remove tags. Sorry, I changed my mind. So I'll get rid of tags. So the only thing you change is title, snippet, and description. And what we will do what's similar to the actual snippet. And so you remove all of that. So we will copy this here. And place it here. And we want to say, want to import the badge. So we remove the word tags. There we go. And there we go. So the only thing we change is the button and the title, the code itself, and the description. Everything else will stay the same. Okay. So review the snippet. We say copy to clipboard, we have our alert. We can edit the snippet and we can change anything that we want. Let's say I didn't want any of these dark styling. Remove the dark styling. And say update. And there we go. And if we add a snippet, we can say test snippet, print console.log test snippet. This is to check if code is working. And this would be other tags is test console debug. Submit. Review it. Okay, copy to clipboard. Excellent. Now I think I know that there's an issue with adding the tags. We want to add a space after each. Yeah. Let's try that and see if that works better. So if we can delete the snippet. Let me add the snippet again. So we say test console.log test. Actually, we call it simple debug. We say this is a simple console message to debug the code. And we'll choose other. And we'll say test debug check console. Submit. If we view it, okay, so now I have issues there. So you see it did it as one long string, so delete that. We'll try one more time. Okay, so say debug code test console. Okay, so it's done it as each. Excellent. So there we go. We want to make sure all of this kind of lines up. So if we take a look at close all of these. Take a look at this. Okay, so some padding. So we've got a card. Header, where's the description? And the code itself. I'm going to remove the padding for now, just see what happens. Okay, so we need the padding. And okay, leave it as it was. We'll add the same class on the content class. Alright, P4. There we go. So now everything kind of lines up. We want to make sure that the snip, we'll say MD. And you know what, we'll put it in italics. Okay. And we'll change the pattern to 2. And we've got this created by and the other. So the created by is fine. This one needs to be info, maybe. Yeah. Okay. And the delete snippet, I want to change the color to actually the same as the success. So we've got a nice little, and the edit one to info, just to keep the styling the same. Excellent. So we copy to clipboard, that's fine. We can edit the snippet. I want to say one more thing to the add.ts. Tag.slice. Let's see if that works. So add another bit. We're just going to say test for all of these. Okay, so now it does do that. So what we want to do, tag slice. Let's see if that will make it any different. So let's try that again. I'm trying to establish what we can do if we don't add a space at the end here. That's what we do. So we don't add the split, we don't add the -1. That way now we can go back to update snippets and we can add the tags back. And in the edit snippet, which is this one, we can take it back. And what we want to do is we want to list out the snippets. And what I want to do, Let's see if that works. So we edit snippets. Okay. So this is a test. So update. This is a test. Okay. Edit. A tag. A and then tag. Okay. So if I just update that, okay. So what I want to do is it's getting back my tags, but it's not separating them by commas. So tags, I want to add, const all tags equals then we say all tags array. Let's see if that works now. Let's do this. Let's see if this works. Let's try that. Go back. Edit snippet. It doesn't like it. All tags on split doesn't like it. Okay. If we said all tags, it does. But we want all tags. For each tag. Okay, added that there, but didn't add it here. We added that snippet. Okay, so if we say debug snippet, and we edit a snippet, and we say something else, and we say remove all. Edit snippet. Okay, so we've kind of got what we want. So we delete the snippet. Okay, so if we edit one that we did before, and I want to take out the word test. Edit the snippet. Okay. Why is it adding? Oh, because I have that. Okay, so if we go to the header and say I wanted to add update, and I wanted to remove the word Jumbotron or Tailwind and update. Okay, I wanted to add Tailwind. It's there. Okay, so it kind of works. Obviously, you could do what you want, but this is our snippet library, and we can add any snippet that we want. So you could even take the card, say let's take a label from Starwind UI, and we can copy this, and this is the code. And we can say custom Starwind label. Yeah, Starwind label. And we can say this is UI, and this is Starwind, and this is custom. Okay, and the title is Starwind label, and we can say submit. So when we submit it, we've got the label here, and I can make it const. I can say that this is label title, and it equals Astro.props. And here, instead of small label, we can just say label title. And the input is fine, and we can change this to Starwind small label. Dash small, and we don't need that, so we say custom. So there it is. We'll copy it to the clipboard, and we will, if we just go right down to the bottom here, there it is. So we've created our snippet. So there we go. So this is our full snippet library, and obviously you can add as much as you like. You could also add the option to be logged in, so that you can see how many people copy your snippet or anything like that. But this is the basics setup of a snippet library for Astro.js. So now that we've got everything kind of working, we're going to use this Lovable UI, and we're going to try to recreate that in Astro.js. So let's do that. So at first we've got a nice header. We're not going to do categories for now. We're just going to do a header with a search bar and a sign in. So let's do that. First of all, I'm going to add all my commit, and we're going to create we're going to update the header. Actually, we're going to create a new one called navbar.astro. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to view the code for this specific section. So we can see here we've got this class of header component, So where is it? Components, layout, header. So we kind of want to use everything here. And I'll paste it in. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but we actually what we'll do. So we will do the div. We'll take it from the div. I think we can do it that for now. That's good. And we'll change class name to just class because obviously it's using React. We don't want to use React. We want to use Astro. So we want to go to our layout now, and we want to add the nav bar there. And let's take a look and see what we got. We've got Astro snippets, nice. We're going to change the background gradient to just purple dash, and there it is. So we've got Astro snippets, which is great. And we're going to make the background, let's make the background grey, 300. See what that looks like. Yeah, okay, awesome. And width full. We don't need the actually 300, height 16. I don't know why that is. Let's just do this and see what happens. Yeah, okay, that's better. Padding 4. So we've got a nice little, so that's everywhere we go now. It's going to be on all the pages. We can always go back to the home page. And then we'll do this section here. This is like a jumbotron. So we'll copy what we have here. And we'll go to the index file. Actually, first we want to create a new page under the snippets. And we call that index.astro. And we'll copy everything from the Astro into this one, the first. So now the index page, we're going to make it look like this one instead. So we'll copy this. And we will remove all of that. And right now we'll just paste what we copied. And we will change this to div with a class of mx auto, items center, and h1, a class of text 7xl. And we discover this here. And alright, so if we take a look, there we are. Okay, it's not quite what we want, but it's there. And then we have 2 buttons. I'm going to have just 1 button, browse snippets. So say button href / snippets, which will basically go to the page / snippets. Yeah, that should work. Oh, it's because it's working. It's I need to update the path here to an @ symbol, and it should be able to get exactly what we need. Alright, so to say browse snippets, it should go there, right? Okay. So we say / snippets, and we will say background. We're using like a green, aren't we? Green 300. Oh, actually no, we're using variants, aren't we? So we'll say variant, and it was success. That's what it is. So there it is. And we can do the same for the nav bar. We don't want purple, we want green, and we want 300. Let's try that. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so if we browse snippets, we actually have a Jumbotron header, so what we're going to do is actually going to copy this and bring it actually into our page here. And copy the heading. And the subheading. And actually, what we could do even, we could actually make another component and call it Jumbotron.astro, and take the copy this to the clipboard and paste it here. And we want to actually import button from Starwind and change the A tag to a button. Okay. And what we will do now is in the index file, instead of this, we will say Jumbotron. And the title will be this one. And this is what the subheading is. And we're going to say browse snippets. So just like that, we've been able to make the Jumbotron that we wanted. And we're actually going to remove the background though. Actually, we're going to remove the section altogether because we don't really need it. So there we go. We want to make sure that the browse snippets, we want to remove the class here completely and change it to variant, and it's info success, isn't it? There we go. And the Astro.js is in. So what we could do, could add a slot. Actually, we'll leave it as it is for now. You could change that up if you want. And then we need this a nice heading. So if we look at our browse snippets. Oh, sorry, it's not going anywhere because we changed the link. So this is going to snippets. Yeah. So browse snippets. There we go. So if we do this and yes, and we go into Command Shift S. Don't know why it doesn't want to print the screen. There we go. And what we will do, we will go to our index. And then we'll add an image. And this will be code image. And we're going to import code image from assets code PNG. Okay, and then what we will do, we'll go into our assets that we don't have right now. And we will, I'm going to get the image and paste it in there. Okay, so I've added my code image here. And what we're doing, it's very similar to what we got here, except what we're doing, we're going to make the we're going to do width full. We're going to say rounded MD. See what that looks like. Okay, we do need the MX Auto though. Rounded D. Rounded full. Let's try that. Oh wow, that's not what we want. Rounded XL. Okay, so let's say max width MD. XL. Okay, rounded. Just going to do max XL. Let's just leave it as it is. Okay, we'll just do that. That's fine. Got another section here. How it works. And we've got the cards here. So we've got a header function already, a header component already. So we'll just do a section of bg-gray-300, and we will do and a header. And if we take a look, it's how it works and a simple process. Okay. Yeah. So how it works is what we'll put here. How it works. And we will do the same for here. And we will add a class, and we'll say class. Let's see what that does. Okay, so it doesn't quite do what we want, but we can always change that. And we need these cards here. Browse, copy, contribute. Browse, card, content. Copy and contribute. Okay. Copy. Contribute. Let's take a look. Card title is not added, so we need to make sure once we import card title and card content. Okay, so we've got all of that there. Awesome. And we want to put all these three inside a div for the class of grid dash calls dash 1 and md grid dash calls dash 3. So we've got this card, that card, okay. So there we have the cards along here. Okay, we need to add some padding and we need to make sure that the add some padding. Okay, so we definitely want the padding to be 4. And we want the title font bold. So let's take a look here. Excellent. And we want maybe margin bottom of 4. Okay, so that looks good. And excellent, I'll do that. Browse. View all snippets. So actually we want to remove this button for now. And see what we got. Okay. So this is what we want as the, so we could make a card component. So we can say let's say a snippet. No, it's not a snippet card. It's just let's just say a card component. Card info. Oh, info card. Info card.astro. And basically it takes everything. Sorry. Everything we've got here. And we take this line of code here. And we say we'll say const title and subtitle. Title, subtitle equals Astro.props. And here, so look, this will basically say info card, and that's what the first one will say that. And the second one will be another info card, and it's copy. So we've got discover and copy, and the last one was contribute. Okay. So then we have info card contribute. There we go. Snippet library. Yep. So there's that. There we go. And if we look again. Okay, it's true we have the icons, but you could add that if you wanted to. We're not going to use any of that. And we're just going to add a nice footer. So it's going to be similar to the navbar. So I'll copy that and we'll create a new component. And we'll say footer.astro. And oops, we will go to the layout and add the footer here and import it. So I have to make sure. Okay. Right, okay, so it is there. So what we want to do, we actually want to look at the footer we have here, and we have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 columns here. So let's say div class of grid dash calls dash 1 and md grid dash calls dash 4, and the first one, let's take a look and see what we got here. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, so the first will be this div here. Actually, just make sure we put it in a div. So that's the Astro snippets. And the second will be, let's say resources, community, subscribe. Okay. So then we want another div. H3 resources, community, subscribe, wasn't it? Let's take a look and see what we got. Resources, community, subscribe. Excellent. Okay, so this will just have a class font bold. Make sure we have this class on all of them. Obviously, you could make another component. But this is what we do. And we've got a little, the subscribe has a little input here and subscribe. And what we could do, we could hook that up to our Appwrite instance. So we can say input and we can put this inside a form. And it goes to subscribe. So then we can make a API and say subscribe.ts, and it would be similar to our add. So we can just copy that. And it takes in an email. Same thing, it takes in email, and make sure it has an email. And this will be email again. And we want data to be email. And that takes you to the home page, that's fine. I'm going to say add email. And if we go to our Appwrite instance, so where is it? Lib Appwrite. We're doing the add, so we just copy this, and we will say add email. But this time we want to create the document. The collection ID has to change, so we're going to say at the moment it's the snippets, and we can have another one or one specifically for subscribers. And it takes in an email. That's it. So we're adding the email, and we need to just import all the necessary components. So we're importing a button from Starwind, import input, and import label. No. There we go. So that's that. And make sure the type is submit because we're inside a form. So that should work. So if we take a look, there's our subscribe. And make sure we'll go into our Appwrite instance and make sure we have a collection for them in our, I've got it as Appwrite blog, but this is the snippet CMS. Okay, so we've got database posts, and we just need a new database. Oh, can only have one database. I see. Okay. So we can only have one database. Oh, we have this. It's not database. It's a collection order. Anyway, sorry. So we want it to be subscribers, and the collection ID to be subscribers. Create. And the first thing we're going to do, we just want to add anyone be able to create. And the attribute is literally just string, email 5, and it's required. Okay, so that's all we need. So hopefully this should work. Make sure that the name that you had in the Appwrite TS here is the same. And let's see if this works. So we say, if I enter my email, test@test.com, subscribe. I take a look in subscribers. And oops, we look at the data, and there it is. So that's the person that says subscribe, so we've added that. That all works. And so GitHub, and we have these resources here. Okay. So we can finish the footer, and we can say community, and we just have a href. Actually github.com, and this is just GitHub. And resources, we can just say this is snippets. View all snippets. We can have another one. Let's take a look and see what that does. Okay. So then we want a UL, the LI, and there we go. And we want the background for this one to be, say, green. I like that. So we just keep it consistent. And it's kind of looking similar to what we got here, except we need this nice little thing here. Let's do that. So we've got the Astro.js snippets, and we have a paragraph. Excellent. Okay, so it needs to be text small. Okay. All right, well, there you go. This is the whole thing, and you can obviously add more to it. That's all we got.